Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ank Ujar Seneb, life, prosperity, and health to you. It is Sunday, all day. Sunday all day. Another Sunday on the island. It's been a while since we've attended church. The building I'm talking about. How goes it? To those who told us that we were godless, without soul, without spirit, if we did not attend the building. If we did not attend the building. If we didn't put on our high heels and our Sunday best, then we were godless. How godless are we today, or how godless are you today after a year, a full year without attending the building? We were godless, you told us, if we didn't send our children to Sunday school, to the building. How sinful are you today, exactly 1 year since you have sent your children to Sunday school? Do you know what is cognitive dissonance? Cognitive dissonance is something we have to talk about within the context of Eurocentric Christianity. Because Eurocentric Christianity and Eurocentric Christians over the past year have been afraid, have been scared to answer the question of who they are, not being able to attend the building. Who are you now, not being able to send your children to the building? And so there's some cognitive dissonance there. Cognitive dissonance really speaks to conflicting attitudes, conflicting beliefs or behaviors that you're faced with, that make you so uncomfortable, a mental discomfort. And this is what we're seeing, no, that you reject. Let me just finish that you reject the reality of a situation. And so many have rejected already the reality of their situation and have found a new gear rather than answer the question of who am I now that it's been a year since I have fellowshipped with the brethren physically. Because you were telling the rest of us who weren't doing that we were godless and that we would die and go to hell. And there you are. Welcome to the space where we know that to reach the greatest within ourselves, and where we know that we've known this because we did not buy into their lie. We have disconnected ourselves from their consciousness. We knew and know that our spirit is more powerful than their white death. So that as spiritual beings having human experiences in African bodies, we have never been concerned with the four walls, the buildings, because those buildings cannot contain our spirit. We do not abide by doctrines, because doctrines are man-made and our spirit cannot facilitate doctrines, because we have disconnected ourselves from their consciousness. We know that if our God and our Savior look like our master and our enslaver, than that we were the principal agent in our own destruction. We knew that. Did they, when they closed the doors to the churches, did they close your hearts? Did they close your spirit? Did they close your soul? Did they close the essence of your being? And are you still a spirit, a child of God, a child of the universe, a spiritual being? So we're calling out cognitive dissonance within Eurocentric Christianity and among Christians right here in Jamaica. We can say all across the world, but we're going to pinpoint it and focus it like a laser beam right here on the island of Jamaica. We're calling out your hypocrisy. We're calling out your lie. We're calling out your cognitive dissonance. Look it up. So what do we do now? Where do we go from here? Now that we know that we do not need the four walls, now that we know, where do we go from here? Because if this is what made you a spiritual being, if this is what was guaranteeing that you would go to heaven, if this was what, I'm talking about going to the building, if this is what made you a Christian, then what are you now? What are you now? Welcome to the space. It's a Sunday morning. And for me, it is simple. They can lock down the country, but they can't lock down my spirit. They can lock down the country, but they can't lock down the warrior. They can lock down the country, but they will never, ever lock down the African that I am. So here is the point. We told you exactly a year ago what all of this meant, how long it would probably last, and what would happen. We told you exactly a year ago to pay special attention to the Disaster Risk Management Act. We told you that that was going to be the weapon that would be used against us to ensure our compliance. We told you that. We are not surprised at anything that is going on. We told you to watch the dictators. We told you that we were moving, it was a global reset, and that we were, in terms of Jamaicans, a part of that. And so that we also told you what we needed to do. Boost our immune systems. That was the main thing. Boost your immune system, remain strong physically, remain strong spiritually, because it is going to take and will continue to take strong spirits to survive. Many among us are already depressed. Many are suicidal and are seriously contemplating that. Hold your horses. Let us get back to our spiritual beings. Many, we are killing ourselves. And when it's not physical death, we are abusing each other physically in many spaces, not just domestically, not just in the homes, but on the roads, in the supermarkets. We are abusing each other. And everywhere we go, everywhere we are as a people. So this is what, and this is amplified, because all of this was happening before, but it's amplified in the lockdown and the psychological trauma, the post-traumatic disorder that we're going through. So it's a lot that we're dealing with. And our children, we have been told not to socialize, and so we're not socializing. We have been told not to congregate, and so we're not congregating. We have been told not to march, and so we're not marching. And we have become obedient slaves once again. We are afraid to give our opinion, if our opinion is a dissenting view to the prevailing view. That is frightening. Because I don't know if you've read Animal Farm. Have you read Animal Farm, that book? Have you? It's not too late to read that, because we are now in a situation where COVID-19 is Jones. And remember when the animals were asking, do you want to see Jones come back? Surely you don't want to see Jones come back. George Orwell is the author of Animal Farm. Get a read of that. Because even those among us who are supposedly intelligent, critical thinkers, book learned, educated through the highest levels, school system, tertiary PhDs and all kind of HDs, masters and MPhils and so on, are speaking with one voice. And if you dare speak with a dissenting voice, then you are the devil reincarnate. Now listen to me. There's such a thing called groupthink. Groupthink. And we told you exactly a year ago that this would happen, and that we told you about the preemptive programming, manufacturing consent. Remember those terms? Exactly a year ago we were using those terms, and we were explaining what they meant. Preemptive programming, manufacturing consent, groupthink. You know what is groupthink? It is when everybody in a group, call the group Jamaica, or most people, the majority, get to a decision, make a decision, without any kind of critical reasoning, or without thinking about the consequences or the alternatives. In order to avoid conflict, in order to avoid being the other, different, you join forces with the majority. So you have unchallenged and poor quality decision making. Nobody to say the emperor is naked. And that is what we find ourselves, and that's where we find ourselves at this time. And we see cognitive dissonance in all of this again. It is Sunday, and many of us, even in the media, it would appear to me, are very afraid, very, very afraid of being different, of saying the emperor is naked. Is there no space then in our nation for opposing views, for different viewpoints? And if we all think alike, how do you get the best possible outcome? If we all agree, how do we then get the best possible outcome? Because there'll be no one to point out when something is about to go wrong. Because of your own experience, because of your own knowledge, because of where you're coming in, because of how you're seeing this. So dissenting views in Jamaica are now being locked up.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.